I retired from Unity of Tacoma some years ago. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 years this year, and and yet I truly enjoy uh, being a part of this once a month and reconnecting with all of you who join us here at Unity of Tacoma. We're going to begin this morning with music. I want to welcome our musical guest, Cindy Akana. Cindy and I have worked together many times on a stage. This is probably, I think, the first time we've worked together online. But it's always fun working with Cindy, and I want to invite her to begin our service.
Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your all. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give our hearts. Come, just as we are to worship. Come, just as we are before our God. Come, come.
Thank you, Cindy. Let's open with a moment of prayer. If you care to turn within, if you care to close your eyes, simply simply to become present to this moment, to joining together in this place. We give thanks. We give thanks for this opportunity to come together and uh, and find our way in life together. And so it is. We close with a prayer for protection. If you know it and you care to recite it with me, please do. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Victoria, do you have announcements this morning?
Had to unmute myself. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yes, I do.
You're on my order of service.
Okay, good. Well, good morning, everybody, and we're working through the difficulties this morning. I want to first announce that moving into October now, the first Saturday in October is coming up next Saturday, October 4th. And that will be our Unity outreach, making sandwich sack lunches for the homeless. And we'll be meeting at our usual time at 11 o'clock. And that's at the corner of 54th, South 54th and South Tacoma Way, 11 till about 12:30. You can come early if you want by a half hour. Somebody is there to let you in. Last month, we took our sack lunches to a different location, to a new startup tiny house village called Kingfisher out on South 84th Street. They were so excited to have us and our donations of clothing, and we're going to take our lunches there this coming Saturday as well. We will continue working with Nativity House in different ways, but we are branching out a little bit. So look forward to seeing many of you at sandwich making on Saturday, October 4th, 11 a.m. Also on October 5th, we are starting our Faith in Action for the year. And our book this time is this book here. Oh, interesting. When I look at that, it's reversed. I hope it's not in reverse for you. At any rate, the title of the book is Understanding Your Soul, the Channeled Wisdom of Jesus. And our weekly sessions in Faith in Action will start on October 5th, which is next Sunday, and will continue on through the 16th of November. And along with that, we'll be having a person-to-person event on October 15th, Saturday, at the Parkland Library in Tacoma, out on at I believe it's 108th and C Street on the corner. We will be there for a brunch from 10:30 until 1:30 on November 15th at the Parkland Library. And that's the latest and greatest from me. It appears that our problems are going to smooth out now. And whatever we meet, we'll greet with a conquering spirit and lots of patience and perseverance. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, Victoria. Cindy, take us into the message, please, with bless us with music.
What will you do in this big bright world if you never leave your backyard? Who would you love until the end if you up your guard? Can you decide what thrills your heart and soul if the worn-out couch becomes your throne? What kind of mark will you make in life if you play unknown? 'Cause you can paint the landscape before you, and you can choose the way you drive. Grab a hold of that wheel of fortune and take your big-eyed ambitions for a ride. Log off of Facebook and start Rosetta Stone. Venture out or travel somewhere. Take baby steps or run a marathon to what you want to do. 'Cause you can paint the landscape before you, and you can choose the way you drive. Grab a hold of that wheel called fortune and take your big-eyed ambition for a ride. Shine brighter than the morning star. Spread fortune like a fairy dust. Fall hopelessly in love. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying find a place to start. To follow your heart. 'Cause you can change the landscape before you, and you can choose the way you drive. Grab a hold of that wheel of fortune and take your big-eyed ambition and take those big-eyed ambitions. Yes, take your big-eyed ambition for a ride.
Thank you. Hello. Is that better? All right. Okay. My message today is titled Map, Map to the Stars. It's a bit of a flight of fancy. It's about your path in life, finding your way in life, wherever it is that you're going in life. You may be on a path to a sense of safety or a sense of peace. You could be on a path to specific growth in a specific area, personal development, the path to adjustment. The path to adjustment when life changes suddenly and things happen and you don't know what's happening. Now, I didn't know what kind of example I was going to use for that, but we had that happen already. We plan what we're going to do, and things happen all the time. That's the nature of life. But we still need a map. We still kind of need to know where it is we're going. It helps to have a map at least. Before I get much into that, I do want to make note of some notable events in our relationship as Unity of Tacoma. This month, on the 1st of this month, on the 1st of September, I marked 20 years since I became senior minister at Unity of Tacoma. That's when I started, was September 1st in 2005. So that's 20 years exactly. And the reason then that I know how long it's been since I retired is that I retired after 15 years. So I've been retired for 5. What's also happened this week is Raylene and I celebrated our 12th anniversary. 12 years ago on Friday, I took her to Starbucks and made her marry me, and that's where we did it, and that's how we did it, and we celebrated, and we had a good time, and we're so good for each other still. In a way that for a little while there we weren't being good for each other or good to each other, but the map that led us through was the map that told us and that reminded us each that the other has our highest good in mind, because that's who we are. That's who she is. Something else that happened this week is the equinox. Or that's happened since I saw you last. Not this week, but since I saw you last. And the dark is coming. We know how things are going to go because of the signals in life, but we have to be able to interpret those signals and find out what those are. What does the equinox mean in a personal growth situation, in a spiritual situation, or a transformation situation? The equinox means whatever you want it to mean, or at least it should. The things that when other people try to control our map, and when other people have input in our map, it can confuse us as individuals. And yet we have to have maps together, maps that we all agree to, and directions we're going to follow. My map has changed drastically in recent years. When I retired, I had a map of how I had a plan. I had a map of how things were going to go, and I didn't realize that I was going to end up with a dog, and I didn't realize that when you have a dog, you don't fit the dog into your life. You change your life and match the dog. We moved, but the path of discovery, sometimes it seems mapless. But we still want to have an idea in mind of where it is that we want to go, how it is that we want to go about finding our way in life. There are some maps that can be too powerful or too strong, so strong that we can't find the sideways, we can't find the pathways. A right-wrong map is very common. Do you have a right-wrong map? This is right and that's wrong. This is okay, that's not. This is acceptable, that's unacceptable. This is good, that's evil. This is positive, that's negative. And that kind of sorting is part of our map. But if that becomes our map, then we're in service to something that's not always our highest good. Our map is there to protect us. Our map is needed to find our way to safety, to find our way to transformation, to find our way to the next thing, whatever it's going to be. When we're in unknown territory, there are when we're in unknown territory and we don't have a map, or we're not using our map correctly, it's not going to help us. Now, if I have a map of Tacoma, and I've had a couple, I'll not put my hands on them for this message, but if I have a map of Tacoma, I can use that map to get around. I can hold that map while I drive, or I use the bus now. I can follow the app. The app has maps. It tells me where to go. But if I'm trying to get somewhere and I have this map and I have it right there, how well am I going to be able to find my way? I've done this before. And I've done this as either or, and in the same duality as good and evil, and okay and not okay. The truth is that we all have some parts of our map that are here, and many of those we may not be aware of. It's unconscious. And so part of our work, if we're going to work on having the correct map, is going to be to get it off our face. But it's also going to be aware of what's always going to be there. Some things are always going to be there. They come from our childhood. Some of it is hardwired in genetically. When there's a danger, there's a physical reaction, and then there's an emotional reaction, and all of that is designed to save your life. And when we're in unknown territory, if we get scared and we do this, we're not going to be able to find our way very much. If you watch online and you pay attention to modern politics and the social media conversation that is constantly taking place, you can watch and listen and find out who has the map right there, because there's no opportunity of looking at something else. What's probably more difficult than anything else is our collective maps. The maps we have together. Our maps are usually story-driven. We borrow stories from other cultures. We borrow stories from other people. We change them, and we create maps together. But there's a fantasy that takes place sometimes, and that is that we're all going to move together in the same direction because we all have the same map. And that fantasy is needed. We need to have the same map. We need to have a set of agreements. That's the only way we're going to be able to grow together, to transform together, to expand together into something that's larger than ourselves. But the same map doesn't always work for us. I was having some tension with the movement. Before I left the movement, by the way, I did what I call resign my ordination, but I'm unaffiliated now. I needed to unaffiliate with the organization. Has nothing to do with the organization being a bad organization. Unity provided the framework for me to have growth. It's simply that my map needed to go somewhere else, and yet it brings me back to you, and I'm so happy. When I was one of my frustrations online when the whole movement began to go online, especially in a social media situation. I got frustrated. I recognized a frustration that I had seen the whole time, but I hadn't recognized exactly what it is. And it goes like this. What do we believe? Well, there's always one arbiter to what we believe, and that's Charles Fillmore. Well, Charles Fillmore wrote in a way, and he wrote about things that honestly, I can't sign on to. But if that's always the answer, then we're never going to be able to adjust our map. And it was difficult for me, but what I was trying to do was change a movement that wasn't right for me anymore. And what I needed to do was make my graceful exit, or make it as gracefully as I can. That's the way my map works. We're going to be studying in Faith in Action. I'm going to have the third Sunday, and I haven't delved deeply into the material, but I have a little story. I have a map, a place on my map for what is called in the title channeled material. Usually channeled material in unity, at least among ministers, yeah, it's kind of a code phrase, a code word. It refers to A Course in Miracles. And there was rigidity in unity at one time in not having that in unity churches. And you couldn't talk about it. You couldn't say A Course in Miracles in my ministerial education program or the continuing education program. Now I'm talking about 1989 and 1990. That was the way it was. Now we have Unity Books publishing a book on it. That's not where the people had their map years ago, but this is what the opportunity that has come forward. Now I had an experience with a church when I was looking for a church, and I ended up being hired here. I ended up becoming your minister. One of the places I tried out was A Course in Miracles Church. And they didn't know that there were ministers that weren't your Course in Miracles ministers. They didn't know. They had one minister for 20 years. He used the Course in Miracles, and he didn't use basic unity materials. I came in with a unity message, and it really upset people when I said, well, that's not unity, that's A Course in Miracles. Oh no, they're one. And the rigidity was just as strong there as the rigidity against the Course in Miracles had been 20 years before, or what, 15 years before. Our maps can keep us from moving forward when our maps keep us from seeing everything. And all of us have a limited map. There isn't a person alive who has the map to the whole universe, the map to the whole world, and that I can imagine. And if they do, they're too busy. They're more busy than I want to be. Hollywood teaches us about maps, and Hollywood has maps, and I like to observe how they follow their maps. And when I'm watching TVs or movies, sometimes there'll be a character or in the background, especially if the movie is set in LA, in Los Angeles. If a TV show is set in Los Angeles, there'll be somebody in the background selling maps to the stars. you can go find your way and you can be closer to your stars. Why would people need to see the home people live in? Well, that's the touristy thing to do. When you're a tourist, that's what you do. And people sell these maps and who knows how accurate they are, but it's really important for some people to follow those maps to the stars so they can feel connected somehow in a way that's stronger. Um, our maps to the stars that we see in those movies. Of course, their best interpretation is our maps to expansion, our maps to awareness, our maps to our map to victory, perhaps. Speaking of Hollywood, there's a phenomenon in Hollywood that's well known. It's well recognized. If you want to see something a little more comprehensive than what I'll tell you, just look up twin films on Wikipedia. What it means by twin films is, and it includes. It could be done this way with plays as well. An idea is out there in the entertainment universe, and somehow the idea reverberates in different ways with two different people or two different groups. And so you end up with what you call dueling movies, perhaps. I'm thinking of the movie Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. Costner was supposed to be connected to Tombstone, but then the scheduling didn't work out, and he wanted a different kind of movie, and so Kurt Russell ended up playing the other. But they came out within just a year or two of each other. Godspell, the movie, and JC Superstar, Jesus Christ Superstar, they came out the same year. Platoon and Full Metal Jacket. They're mirror movies, and they came out right at the same time. Deep Impact and Armageddon. I don't know if you remember Deep Impact and Armageddon, but they were both about a comet or an asteroid, a rock that's coming toward the world, and it's going to do horrible damage. Those twin films reveal something to me. They reveal that the passing of ideas in conversation, the way the passing of ideas happens, and we don't know it happens, and we don't know how deep it happens, and then all of a sudden, Hollywood has two of the same movie coming out at the same time. That's what we're part of. Every conversation we have is with someone who has other conversations, and we're part of the process that creates that. Now, my map to life has been upended several times. I was on a map on the path to something. I was doing my part. I was following the map, and then the bottom fell out. My wife said I want a divorce. The school called. The military called up my son. Just something happened that wasn't on my map. And it can be upsetting when something happens that's not on our map. That was supposed to be on my map, or that wasn't supposed to happen. That can be our response. But the reality is that we just probably aren't going to have everything on my map. I can tell you, I'm going to wrap this up in just a moment. We're going to have a moment of meditation. But I want to tell you that there's nowhere on my personal map, nowhere on my map of life did I have the U.S. military invades Portland, or the president threatens to invade Portland with the U.S. military, and that has me a little rattled. It should have me rattled. That's something to get rattled over. But and I have to incorporate that into my map. And I'm not going to expand on that too much. I don't have a lot that I want to say. I would only really expand on that if y'all want to do that during a conversation we'll have. My tendency with interactions and conversations is to finish our order of service and close the service out, end our YouTube broadcast and then open up and have a conversation. If that's the way you do it, I don't care whether it stays on YouTube. I want to do it the way you do. But I don't want to get into that right now. I want to be able to have interactions when we're talking about what's going on down there. I want to invite Cindy once more um, to lead us into music. Excuse me, lead us into meditation with music, and that meditation will be followed by music as well. Cindy, will you take us into meditation?
Yeah, I certainly will. And then David, let's give me a few seconds to get out of what I'm doing, and then we can probably not have that weird sound going anymore.
Okay, of course.
And I just need to do another check. You guys can hear the piano? The echoing.
Sitting on the back porch of nothing, I had gone from father to husband, now traveling alone with some odds or ends to show for my years. I was told to move on down life's highway, but instead I wanted to see byway. Life became my friend. Summer I chose to pen my own frontier. I used to walk in the footsteps of another, from stepping stone to stepping stone, till I believed I had so much more to offer. Now I'm dancing in my own. I sport a shirt that says, "Watch out, baby." 'Cause yes, I can make places on my babies. The stars, the sun, the moon, brought an inch or two in my eye. I used to walk in the footsteps of another, from stepping stone to stepping stone, till I believed I had so much more to offer. Now I'm dancing in my own. Some days I dance alone with a crowd of someone in need. Dance where I am with the power of I can. I can love and I can laugh and I can lead. Dance with me. I used to walk in the footsteps of another, from stepping stone to stepping stone, till I believed I had so much more to offer. Now I'm dancing, now I'm dancing. you dancing in my home.
Going into these few minutes of meditation, of introspection, simply take a deep breath and let it go. And take another. There's nothing quite like taking a breath to shift mood, to reveal what's not being seen. You have a marvelous mind, and your mind can contain many maps. You can have a main map through life, another map for family, and another map for work. But sometimes that map can have things on it that depend on other people to do their part in order for your map to be fulfilled. Do you have a map for when that doesn't work out that way? Do you have a map for finding your next steps when that happens? We are part of a humanity. You are part of a humanity that has work to do on this world together, if that can be done. Each person on this world has a map. For some, it's a map to having things, the map to having things, the map to getting things, the map to being powerful, the map to being, the map to getting your way. All of these maps contribute to any chaos we see in the world. Our work is with our own map. What's on my map? If I have on my map that the only way I'm going to be happy is if somebody else does what I want, my map is setting me up. If I have it on my map that my goals have to be reached, or I'll be unhappy, my map may contribute to my unhappiness. What's on my map that I don't know is there? What's on my map that needs to be shifted, that needs to be changed? No one has that answer for you. That's the key to the map. It is your map. No one can decide that for you. We have work to do to find our way in life. And that work begins within. It begins with a breath and a releasing and a quieting of the mind just for a moment. It's that space in a conversation. That space in a conversation when you're through thinking about one thing and you haven't started thinking about something else. You've let your mind go quiet. It may be for a split second. But what we do in our formal meditation is just expand that quick moment and let it serve us even better. We rest in the silence of meditation. Whatever is on our map that is part of our meditation, we bring it into this place. And we rest in the silence for a moment. And as we return our attention to this place and this time, let us do so with gratitude in our hearts and with a new awareness of our way in life. And so it is.